I still have a minute. Oh, we're live.
I think we're on and very glad to see everybody today for a chat from Mama Bee and Papa Bee, or as our grandchildren call us, the bees.
Yes, and today we're talking about paybacks for the long-term marriage, which we happen to be in one.
Yes.
This is year 64. We're in the process of celebrating number 64.
And we are also in the process of experiencing paybacks. So I'm excited for what we can report has happened to us.
I recall our 60th wedding anniversary, actually the 59th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
By that time, we had made a list of 60 sensational things that we were going to do during our 60th year, all 12 months. The goal, as I remember, it was that we were not going to limit it to a one-day celebration on the anniversary, but enjoy it and do the things that we really have wanted to do or do all the time as sensational things. And I enjoy doing that.
Yes. Some of them cost money, like we took country western dance lessons together.
Which I'm not very good at moving both feet.
We took a few trips together, but there were things that didn't cost that both of us like to do, like we do jigsaw puzzles together. We play dominoes every day.
Right.
We like to take walks together, and those things counted as sensational for us because they were important in our daily lives.
We had one rule, though.
What was that?
It has to be enjoyable for both of us.
That's right.
Or sensational for both of us.
We made a list of our 60 things, and the only rule that defined if it wasn't the conversation, and some of the things just never got on it because it got on the list because both of us didn't enjoy it. Well, let's move to.
But I understand. I was just thinking about the fact that we heard this sex therapist at one of the conferences that we were part of in the past, who said that you don't really understand or enjoy intimacy until you've been together 5 or 6 decades.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
And I think I understand that better now.
Indeed. In fact, that's one of the paybacks, to just be very straight with a long-term outlook and a long-time marriage. You begin to get paybacks. And one of them is you begin to know each other really well, and intimacy is a part of that. I agree with your sex therapist and what he said.
I did include on our sensational 60 sensational, I had the triple S on there.
Yes, and that stood for
sensational senior sex.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
And I think we've done well with that.
Yes, well, that's one of the paybacks of a long-term relationship, is that you grow closer and closer to each other with a few attitudes toward it.
Yes.
One is, this is going to last. I want this to last. So I'm going to be looking for things that help it to last. And one of those things for me has been the development with you of strategies for dealing with disagreements and with problem solving. We have very different personalities.
We do.
We have very different points of view on almost everything.
Boy, that's the truth.
And over time, one of the paybacks is you develop strategies for dealing with those disagreements. It not only helps you come out with some kind of resolution, I think it cuts down on the number of disagreements.
I think that's true. I think some of the things we did earlier in our marriage, I want to say in the first 25 years of our marriage, it was that we discovered what we brought to this relationship from our families of origin. Mm-hmm. And by getting in touch with the way our parents, each of our parents dealt with anger and dealt with conflict resolution, if nothing else, it helped us identify when we tended to do the same thing, mm-hmm. that we were not really treating this relationship like it's just the two of us. We sort of imposed our parents' position mm-hmm. into this relationship. And we've learned that we can choose to use better skills that we didn't come to marriage with.
Well, that's one of the advantages or the benefits, or yes. I like the word paybacks
yes.
of a long-term relationship, is you see the importance of dealing with disagreements
right.
and the importance of finding some kind of strategy, some kind of plan that works for the two of you, and practicing it enough to develop it.
Yes, I think so. And that's been really good.
Well, the second payback that I want to say is I think an outlook of a long-term relationship and wanting it to work and looking for ways to make it work builds trust.
Okay.
I think you have to be together for a while, whether it's an intimate relationship like marriage or whether it's just with friends. You have to be together for a while to build trust.
Yes, I'm really not going to share, or I'll be very self-disclosing to you if I don't trust you, and vice versa, I'm sure. So that is so important. And the beautiful thing is, the more we trust, the more we say things that nobody else really knows. And
that's been certainly true with me. In fact, I think to share. I have become willing to share with you, yes. to disclose things about myself, to grow closer by discussing the ideas that we have about life and family and important things.
Yes.
So a payback for me of our long-term relationship has been learning to trust, and the safety of the trust helps me with self-disclosure, especially with telling you my feelings.
Well, and I'm so grateful for that, because it makes it very enjoyable to deal with each other in all these situations. And so that part I have enjoyed. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think has been exciting is that it has helped us to develop our us.
Yes. Well, that may need a bit of explaining.
Yes,
You're
it
new
does.
to the chats and haven't been with us over the last few weeks.
We get married. There's a strong Britain and there's a strong Bobby, but we haven't been together to develop the us. And the us is what people see in our relationship. I think that people can look at another relationship and say, you know, they say they're just great and things are going super, but when you see them interact, you really wonder if that is true. So the us does speak to other people, and I think one of the things you said earlier is that our family calls us the bees. Mm-hmm. So that's almost like an us statement.
Oh, yes,
and
that's true.
And I think that's really great. It's important.
I think there has to be in every relationship a strong you and a strong me for it to survive, for it not to just be one-sided.
Right.
There has to be strength in the personality and growth for the individual. But I think too many couples stop too soon before they have a chance for their us to develop and to be able to depend on it.
Yes, and
I think I have a good analogy here, and I want to say it.
All right,
it's out of a book we've been reading lately, but I certainly agree with it. It's that the long-term relationship and its payback is a lot like investing in the stock market.
Oh, boy.
Every time the stock market goes down and stays down a while, we get a letter from our financial advisor person saying, don't panic, don't take your money out, don't stop too soon. The stock market will come back. We've counted on it. It will work.
Well, and the fact that we've diversified and have different kinds of.
But the point is, too many couples, I think, measure it every day. Look at, am I happy today? Am I satisfied with this today? Am I in a good mood today? Is he in a good mood today? And don't give it time to see that it is a worthy investment. Now, if there's addiction, if there's abuse, we're not even talking about that, because some relationships are not going to work.
Well, that's putting like a third relationship into the mix.
Yes, that's true.
Like
and
a
destructive one.
Like a mistress.
Yes. But the stock market on a whole, investing in it gives long-term satisfaction.
Yes.
And I think that that's what a lot of us are counting on in retirement and need to depend on. So I think relationships are something like that. You look at it for the long term, and your outlook says, I want this to work. I'm going to do the things that make this work. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep working at ways to make us both happy as the you and as the me. All of us, and measure it by.
I think that's really true. And the key point that comes to me in what you're saying is the idea that through thick and thin, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am dedicated and committed to this relationship.
And when I feel that, I trust you.
Yes.
And that's important. Well, there's one other payback that all research, everything we read, especially today, makes us aware of this fact. Children profit from being with parents who are in a long-term relationship.
Yes, I think the parents, if the couple relationship is strong, then you as a couple provide marriage enrichment training for your children. You were telling me about the situation with our daughters when I came home from work one day.
They were sitting on the couch facing away from us watching TV. You came in, we hugged, we kissed in greeting. And when we turned around, all three of those little heads were turned completely around looking at us.
Yes, I just loved it. Just like.
Well, it said children like for their parents to be loving. They feel safe. They feel secure when they know that they can count on their parents to hang in there together.
Yes, and the same thing is true when parents want to go out on a date and get a babysitter. The children will complain and they'll say, well, I never get to do anything. You're always doing something, Mom and Dad. And then as soon as they leave, the parents leave, they tell the babysitter, my parents are going on a date.
Yes, and so, we've heard that so many times.
Right. And I think the beauty of a couple, well, the couple's going to be there for the long term. The children are not. So why not invest in the couple and invest in the way you relate? Therefore, you are training your children to want what the parents have in their mate down the road.
But the research not only supports that, but it also suggests that children are able to do better in school.
Yes.
They stay away from destructive habits.
Right.
Because they have the security of parents. And so that's certainly these days a payback that a long-term relationship provides for the family, for the schools, for the community, and goodness, we need it now.
It's very important kind of model for a healthy community, healthy city. Well, we need to stop, Bobby, but I want to say that I feel really good about the paybacks I'm feeling in relation to you, and it's a pleasure to move toward the 64th anniversary.
And we can honestly and sincerely say there are lots of paybacks for a long-term relationship.
So long till next week. Thank you.
We'll see you again.